Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis. And I have this really great team that God has provided me. I think Oz is at the Renaissance Festival today. And so that leaves Faith for the morning. Oh, my faithful assistant, Faith. Let me get her up here. She's been my assistant since the day she was born, basically. She used to sit on the podium when I did announcements, and later on, she and her sister would hand out affirmation cards after the service because we used to do that. And she's been my official assistant for the last 5 years. So behind the scenes, she's the one answering you. If you say hi, good morning, hello, she will answer you. I always look later to make sure she, covers everything if there's any questions or whatever. But she knows me better than I know myself, so that works. She's grown up 6 blocks away from my house and spent enough time at my house that I call her my own. So, and she is our soloist today. And today we're doing, which song did I pick?
Yeah, what song are we doing today? Let It Be Easy by Karen Drucker.
Let It Be Easy, yes, Karen Drucker. And that is on the Joy of Love, right?
Joy in Our Hearts album.
Joy in Our Hearts CD, yeah. Anyway, so thank you for being here, Faith. I sure appreciate you, especially on a morning when I don't have Oz to pray us in and all that good stuff. So thank you. I have this great adjunct music team as well. There's, of course, Tina, who's been singing in our church since 2000. And she's on a little bit of a sabbatical because she needed to get some things done. She's getting her house, I think, ready for sale. I'm not sure anymore. But anyway, she lost her partner, and so she was going through the house and that kind of stuff. So she needed some time off. And then we have Karen Drucker, who has been a music director in like 3 different churches. So she's provided us with all of our music. Well, not all of it, most of our music. She provided us with her entire collection of 20 CDs and songbooks with it and karaoke files and whatever. And then there's the Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver, who also has provided us with her music. So we do one song of Elaine's every Sunday, and we do one song of Karen's every Sunday, and then we do their music throughout the service. So just wanted to acknowledge these people because I do feel like they're part of my team. I also like to acknowledge Reverend Lynn because he ends up watching the animals. He's our zookeeper during the Sunday service, so he keeps them nice and quiet for me. I really appreciate that. I couldn't do it without him. So let's see. The topic today is Manifestation Toolkit. We've been talking a little bit about manifestation every week, and I finally realized that I never went through how to use tools to manifest. So I'm going to do that today. Say hi, hello, good morning. If you're here, let me know. When we're in a facility, I can look out and see who's here. With this software, I don't have that ability, so I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you for being here. There's a lot of things you could be doing on a Sunday morning. We're really blessed to have you here with us. If you'd like to do a watch party, there is a watch party button. It's a great way to introduce your friends to our teaching and to our Sunday service, and let us know that you're here, And also, thank you. And also, it's a great way for you to talk back and forth with them because you can't bother anybody, right? So, all right. I invite you right now to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift and inspire you as we move into our sin.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Surely the presence of God is right here, right now. For it is always there, always here, always with us, in us, through us, as us. God is simply all there ever has been, all there ever will be, and all there is right here, right now. I know that that is what flows through me as it flows through all creation. Like a river that runs through. I just celebrate that feeling, that knowingness of the connectedness of all life. As I bless this service today, I know that people are uplifted and inspired, that God's message comes through very clearly. And I release any need in myself to control how that happens or what is said. And so as I bless the service, I call it good and very good. I bless it. I'm grateful for it. And so it is. Amen. All right. Let's see. This next song is Surely the Presence. Or no, I'm sorry. This next song is We Are All One. See, I'm all goofed up. Without Oz being here to pray us in, I'm all goofed up. It's so funny. You get used to a certain order of things. How funny. All right. This is We Are All One. This is a Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver song that she wrote while she was in practitioner training. And it's a great reminder of how connected we are. So I always like to use this one. So if you know the words, sing it loud and sing it proud, because you can't bother anybody. And if you don't know the words, learn them. It's a great way to remember how connected we really are.
We are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. I hear it and know it, my being. Spirit is all I am seeing. For God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I have seen, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. Yes, we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it.
Oh, goodness. All right. So if you're here, please say hi, hello, good morning. Let us know that you're here. Like I said, in a facility, I can look out and see the shiny faces and know who's here. With the software, I don't have that ability. So we really appreciate it when you do check in and just let us know. Also, if you're here later and you're viewing this later, just drop a hello or a hi or good morning or something, just to let us know who's been visiting. We always like to know that. If you like something that you hear, whether that's something that Faith sings or that I say, use that thumbs up button and let us know. If you love something, of course, we love to get love, so send us hearts. And if something that I say or something that Faith sings is powerful to you, really powerful, then use that wow button. That feedback really helps us get better at what we do. So we really appreciate the feedback. So without further ado, here is Faithful Faith.
trust my voice. Let it be safe. I used to run around, beat myself to the ground. I thought this was the way to be. I thought that true success was having so much stress. Till I heard a voice calling to me. Let it be safe. Let it be safe. I'm gonna make a choice to trust my voice. Let it be safe. Now that I see the light, I won't work all day and night. I'm about to take good care of me. Don't need to run a race. I'm choosing ease and grace. Joy in the ride, effortlessly. Let it be safe. Let it be safe. I'm gonna make a choice to trust my voice. Let it be safe. Let it be safe. Let it be safe. I'm gonna make a choice to trust my voice. Let it be safe. Easy, I get the job done. Easy when I'm having fun. Easy every day. Easy, it's the only way. It's the only way. Easy, I let it be easy. I'm gonna make a choice to trust my voice. Let it be easy. A choice to trust my voice. Let it be easy. Easy. Oh, I'll let it be easy. Easy. I'll let it be easy.
I jumped the gun on that one. Looks like you have a fan there. Someone said, "Hey, Faith," and then said, "Hey, let it be easy." I love that. Thank you so much, Faith.
Thank you.
We love Faith. I'm so appreciative of her. I really could not do this job without her. So, all right. So, as I said, we've been talking about manifestation for a while, a couple weeks now, because I kept seeing things like the law of attraction and this is how you manifest on TikTok. And, you know, we've been teaching manifestation. Let's see, Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder, started doing this like in 1927. And so we've been teaching it for a very, very long time. And the thing that I object to the most when I see it on TikTok or Facebook Reels or something like that is that they take a little piece of the law of attraction and they run with it. And they don't fully explain the law of attraction. And so the last couple of weeks we've been going over what is the law of attraction and how do we use it. And so just a little recap for those of you who are new here. One of the things that I object to with the law of attraction is that it's like a get rich quick kind of thing. And the law of attraction really has a lot of components to it. One is that we need to really know what our belief systems are that are limiting us from our good. And it doesn't matter. I'm not talking about just money, although a lot of the times the law of attraction is used about money. But, whether you're trying to attract the perfect person to you, or you're trying to attract or create perfect health within you, match your DNA to the blueprint of God that lives within you, you're using manifestation. You're using the law of attraction. You are attracting things to you. For instance, money, a belief that we all have about money is money doesn't grow on trees, right? Well, money is paper. Paper grows on trees, so money grows on trees, right? So you argue your way back from these limiting beliefs into a belief that supports the vision that God would have for your life. For instance, God doesn't know anything about lack or limitation or poverty. God doesn't know anything about hatred or anything like that. God doesn't know anything about ill health or disease. All God knows is prosperity, abundance, love, and health, wellness, absolute wellness. And so our goal in using the law of attraction is not just to do these rote things, but it is to, in fact, change our vibration to where we are vibrating at the same frequency that God vibrates at. And that is a process of looking at our beliefs and looking at our thought patterns and changing those things that are keeping us from that higher vibration. We are just energy. That's all we are. Everything in the world is energy. I talk about a lot, that quantum physics supports what we teach because it says everything is made of the same stuff. Now, they don't say God stuff. They say, everything is made of the same molecules, and how they bump together determines how solid it's going to be. For instance, this desk is a slower vibration, and that makes it have more solidity. Whereas water or air is rapid, and so it has no solidity. And our bodies fall somewhere in between there. And so I call it God stuff. They don't call it God stuff, but I call it God stuff. We're made of the same stuff. And because of that, we need to change our vibration to where it is vibrating at the frequency of God. And so prosperity, love, health, all of those things are a vibration that God has a frequency for. And changing our thoughts to change our life, and changing our beliefs that are limiting us, and eradicating those beliefs that no longer serve us, puts us in a better place to be vibrating at that frequency and utilizing the energy of God in all that we want. All right, so that's my quick version of the difference between the way we teach the law of attraction and the way most people on TikTok or Facebook Reels or whatever are teaching the law of attraction. They just focus in on the, do this and it'll all happen, right? And that could work if you don't have any limiting beliefs in there. I like to think of the subjective mind as like a computer where it stores all of the information about everything that's happened to us and everything, and our reaction to those things and all of that. All of that is stored. And yes, fear holds you back, and fear is stored in that subjective mind. So all information that passes through that subjective mind gets treated the same way. So I can affirm till hell freezes over, and hell is a biblical term here. I could affirm till hell freezes over that I have all these mega millions. But if I have something in my subjective unconscious that is saying, no, you don't, or no, you don't deserve it, or you can't have that, or money doesn't grow on trees, or you're unworthy of that, or you're unworthy of love. You don't deserve to be loved. You don't deserve to be treated well, or you've been a smoker or a drinker or a drug user, or fill in the blank, and so you don't deserve to have good health. All of these things are in our subjective unconscious, and they really are not true. Fear is a really big one, because everything that is stored there tells us that there's something to be afraid of, right? And I don't know what your particular fear is, but if you are afraid of success, for example, you will never be successful, because no matter how many times you do that affirmation, if you have not worked on that, what that fear is that's keeping you from being successful, you're not going to get there. And so when we're talking about the law of attraction, when we're talking about manifestation, it becomes very important to use the tool of critical thinking. Now, I know a lot of schools these days are not teaching critical thinking, which I think is kind of not a good thing, because, hi, Cindy, because critical thinking really is the basis for how we learn. Okay. I can be taught something and rotely memorize something. It doesn't mean that I've learned it, meaning it hasn't made that long journey from the head to the heart. And so when we critically think, we look at everything from all aspects, and we determine whether it fits our life or fits our vision of where we want to go, or if it fits, the creative vision that we have. Yeah, that will set you on awakening for sure. And so it becomes very necessary for us to do critical thinking, to begin to look at those thoughts. What are the, not the individual thoughts. Thoughts are always creative, but think about it this way. If we have like something like 400 thoughts a minute, and every single thought was creative, can you imagine what our world would be like? We're like, I want this. No, I don't. Everything would be going and leaving, and there would be no solidity to our lives. And so it's good that we don't create every single thought. All right. The ones that create are the thought patterns, the ones that we obsess over, the things that we think over and over and over again, and the things that have an energetic charge about them, emotional charge. So for instance, I always say that the thoughts are creative, but the power that fuels the vehicle is the emotion. And so one of the things about a law of assumption, if you're not familiar with Neville Goddard's work, he talks a lot about the law of assumption, which he considers a better law than the law of attraction. I think it's part of the law of attraction personally, but that's okay. We can beg to differ on all of that, but still teach the same thing. And that is, when you have the law of assumption, you are assuming that is already yours. And you are assuming that there is nothing that can keep you from your good. And so when you have your emotions enrolled in these thought patterns that you have, then you are living the law of assumption, and you are assuming that that is coming, or it is here, and it is, manifesting as you speak. So, yeah, anything major like that does start the awakening process for sure. So I want to talk a little bit about those tools that we're going to use. Let's talk about rituals, for example, because a lot of the people on TikTok and the Facebook Reels are teaching about rituals, and we get a little confused about ritual. There's no power in the ritual itself. Let's put it that way. Just like there's no power in crystals themselves. The power is your mind. The power is your power. And what you're doing by doing rituals is you are focusing your intention, your attention on a specific thing, living in the law of assumption. And you are assisting yourself in using the law of assumption by using ritual. Now, that could be anything from, I've seen people write on a bay leaf what they want to manifest, and then burn it, and then take some cinnamon, pour it in with the ashes, and then blow it. I've seen people write entire things about it, what my life will be like, and bury it. I've seen people who have mailed it to themselves, the long letter, mailed it to themselves, and open it a year later. All of these things work, but they don't work because of the ritual. They work because it is our time to focus our attention, our intention, and our assumption that this is true. It is that time that we use to focus that. So I believe in doing rituals. I think rituals are wonderful as long as we understand that the power is not in the ritual or the tools that we use for the ritual itself. Now, for instance, Faith has a company that sells intention jars. And Angel Renee, who's one of our followers, has intention candles. So all of that to me is very, very good, because while you're in the process of doing your meditation, if you have something to focus on, it helps. I'll be going into that in just a minute, because that is one of the better tools. Prayer and meditation are actually first in my mind. But while you're doing these rituals, you are taking that time to focus that energy, that attention on the thing that you are wishing to manifest. So let's talk about prayer and meditation real quick. First of all, meditation, I think, is the best form of anything that you can do. If you take minutes out of every day, it doesn't have to be long meditation. I personally meditate and pray for an hour to 2 hours every day, but I'm not suggesting everybody do that. That is part of my job. And I find that is, I do like an hour in the morning and sometimes an hour to an hour and a half at night. Usually it's somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour. It just depends on how many prayer requests we have, because we pray for everyone. And so I spend that time meditating mostly, and then the last part of it is the prayer. And the reason I do that is because when you do meditation frequently, when you do it consistently, like every day, it makes it really easy to jump to center when you're in the midst of something going on. It also keeps you centered. I believe in belly breathing, but that's how I start my meditation. For those of you who are not familiar with belly breathing, most of us breathe right from our chest. We don't breathe into our bellies and out of our bellies. And I did a demonstration with Faith years ago that I keep replaying, but I need to do it again with her because it doesn't translate well when I try to redo it. Where I showed that she could be bowled over by a feather. All I had to do was just barely press on her and she would be knocked over. And then I had her do some belly breathing. You take in a breath into the belly. So you fill up the chest and keep going and go all the way to the belly. So you're breathing it in, expanding the belly as you're taking in air, holding it for just a second, and then releasing it. And you release until the belly is collapsed. And you do that enough times, and it solidifies your space. So then I come back and I would press on Faith, and no matter how hard I pressed, I could not knock her over. And that's really the power of belly breathing. So I start my meditation that way. And as I get into my meditation, there's many ways you can start to meditate if you're not already meditating. By the way, one of my favorite that I teach my new students in foundations is an old one that I learned in yoga when I was first starting out in yoga. And that is, you put a candle in front of you, sit cross-legged on the floor, and you put this candle in front of you and light it, and you stare at the flame for a whole minute. And then you take your hands, after a minute, you take your hands and the heels of your hands and put it into your eye sockets. You're not pressing hard enough to cause yourself pain, but just enough so that you know that it's there. You feel the pressure. And you begin to see a little flame right here. And it wants to dance around and it wants to disappear. So you're training your mind to focus on keeping that flame right here. And you can start out doing a minute or 2 minutes, however long you can hold that flame. That's up to you. But I find that when I do stuff like that, when I do exercises like that to meditate, to train my mind to meditate, it's so much easier when I get a call from somebody that they're in the hospital, or I get a call that someone has made their transition, or things happen in my own life that I have to deal with, because then I can jump to center. Some of you have heard people say that, ministers say that to their practitioners, jump to center. And that's what we mean by that. It's a little hard to jump to center if you don't have a center to begin with, right? So I always think that spending time meditating, cultivating a relationship with the God within you, that's my purpose for meditation, is that I'm cultivating that relationship with that ancient wisdom of the ages that lives within me, that power, that source of power that lives within me, that source of life that lives within me. That's the purpose of my meditation, is I am actually cultivating that relationship. So I say it this way, that meditation is more important than prayer in the beginning, is because in order to get into the state of prayer where you are praying something and not praying for it, you almost need to be in that space of center already. So I always start out with meditation. Now, in religious science, when we teach prayer, what we teach is spiritual mind treatment, meaning we are treating our minds and we are changing our vibration to be that which vibrates at the frequency of God, right? And so when we teach prayer, what we teach first is basically meditation. It's the acknowledgement that God is simply all there is, right? We call that the recognition step. And I love this acronym. Are you ready to receive? Recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release. Are you ready to release? 5 steps. Okay. And so the first step is that recognition, and it is the place of recognition of God as all there is, that God flows through us. That's the unification step. That is who and what we are, our very essence, our very life, our very being, who and what we are. And that the ancient wisdom of the ages flows through us. And so that is where we get our wisdom from, right? So that's the unification. Those 2 steps are like meditation. They're absolutely like meditation. And it is that cultivating of that relationship that puts us in the state of mind to be able to do the rest of the prayer. So the 3rd step, realization, is an affirmation, really. And it is affirmative statement that this has already occurred. I'm claiming it for myself. I'm receiving it for myself because it is already done, right? And so if we're working on money, for example, I don't know how you want to do this. I know that you have to step across your comfort zone a little bit. You don't necessarily have to leap over a big mountain to get there, because your subjective mind will have some issues. But if you're comfortable at $2,000 a month, I suggest you start affirming $5,000 a month. If you're comfortable at $5,000 a month, maybe you could work on $10,000 a month or more. I always include that as. So in my realization step, would then say, if it was money, I now easily and effortlessly attain and maintain an income of $10,000 a month or more. Okay. If we're talking about love, we're talking, the realization step is going to be something like, I now feel loved, and I now have an outlet for my love to express, or for God's love to express through me, right? I'm an agent of God's love. If it's wellness you're working on, if health has become an issue, my body now resonates with the blueprint of DNA that God has placed within this vessel. Okay. Because the blueprint of God is there for health. It's just, we have layers and layers of stuff that we have put on it. So I'm affirming right now that my body reflects that blueprint of DNA that God has placed within my body. So that's that realization step, more like an affirmation. When talking about affirmations, as a side to this, I suggest doing them 100 times a day. I love these mala beads because there's 104 or 108 beads on here. And so the Buddhists and Hindus take these and do their mantras. They slide 1 bead at a time for each time they do the mantra. I suggest we do that with our affirmations. They have mala bead bracelets that are like 54, I think, and you can do it twice, but I suggest that you do it 10 times a day. But in prayer, you're only going to do it once, right? And then the next step is Thanksgiving, which I wish I could change the the name of it to gratitude, because Thanksgiving, I don't know, Thanksgiving calls up a whole other, I don't know, image for me. Thanksgiving is something I do, and gratefulness is something I feel. Does that make sense? So I always like to say, I now sit in the gratitude of knowing that this is done. Gratitude is a magnetic force. It will manifest quicker than anything else. When we are grateful for that which we already have in our physical reality, and when we're grateful for what we have created in the mind of God and have not yet seen, when we are grateful for all of that, we are magnetically attracting to us that which we are looking to manifest, right? As opposed to, as they say in Vegas, scared money runs. When we are sitting at the table, let's just take Vegas as an example. When you're sitting at the table and you start to lose, for example, and you start getting afraid of losing the money, then you are desperate, right? There's a feeling of desperation. And we all know that desperation is a repellent. Have you ever been around somebody who was desperate for love and attention and you just could not get away from them fast enough? Well, the universe works the same way. I'm not saying God is a person. I don't believe that God is a, physical person. But it does work the same way. The universe repels that which it finds to be desperate. And it attracts what it finds to be grateful. So when we're, and just look at like when someone's in love, the whole world is in love with them. Like, anytime you're in love, all these people are now wanting to date you, and people want to be near you, and people are giving you gifts, and they're just, it's crazy. But it's only while you're in that in love space. So one of my classes, the students and I were discussing that's really the key to manifestation, that if you get in that feeling of being in love, or that feeling of being in prosperity, or that feeling of being well, if you are in that feeling of in that is when everything just sort of falls towards you. It's all comes towards you because you're grateful. When you're in love, aren't you grateful for the person that you're in love with? How about being grateful for the wellness that you are experiencing? How about being grateful for everything that you see in your world and everything you don't see in your world yet, but is on the way to you, right? If you're grateful, if that's the process of that Thanksgiving step, is getting into the feeling of gratitude. And then the final step is release, right? And so I always like to say, one of my mentor ministers, Dr. Fred Vogt, used to say, it's like we go out and we plant a seed and then we dig it up every 5 minutes. Well, it hasn't done anything yet. If we were doing prayer and you're picking it up every single time you get done with that prayer, then the prayer is not going to take effect because we're digging it back up again. And the universe is like, okay, I'm listening. Okay, you want to make a modification. Okay. And now I'll start the process. You want to make modification. You see what I'm saying? It's that process. When you release something, when you totally let it go, then the universe has the ability, God has the ability to execute the instructions, so to speak, right? Not that I think we're telling God what to do, but I'm just saying, like, we have given instructions to the universe. This is what I want. This is what I would like to see. This is what will fulfill me. And the universe goes, yes. God's answer is always, always, always yes. And so if we give it instruction, it will work for it. You see, we just have to get ourselves out of the way. My favorite example of this was years and years ago. I was in the school ministry, actually, but it was a great manifestation example for me. I had this bathtub that has a soap dish that is indented into the wall. And for some reason, it's on a slant. And so I would put soap in there and the bar of soap would slide off. And then I'd put soap in there and the bar of soap would slide off. These days, I don't use bar soap. I use pump soaps. But back in those days, I was using bar soaps, and we're talking about in the 90s. And so I went, damn it, I need one of those rubber soap dishes. And then I walked away. I didn't even it wasn't even a matter of, gee, I'll manifest that, or maybe I'll pray on that, or it wasn't anything like that. It was just out of that moment of frustration and anger. I said, this is what I want. And I totally released it. Well, we had been buying these big packages of ivory soap for years, like 12 bars or something like that. And this one time right after that, my husband goes to the store and he comes back and he brings back a 12 pack of the soap. And I open the package, and in there is this rubber soap dish. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I've never seen one since. That is just, it has always amazed me. But that really is the ticket right there. That's the ticket to manifestation. We have our emotion enrolled in it. We are grateful for it. We have released it and not want anything, not want to come back to it for any reason. When we're in that state of release and we have totally released it, now the universe, God, however you want to say it, can now provide all of that. So in our toolkit, we have meditation, prayer, affirmations, ritual, and visualization, not visioning. Visioning is more being receptive to God's vision for us. Visualization is using the law of assumption. Visualization is where, and you don't have to see pictures, by the way. I have one of my students manifested a car by putting the exact make, model, and color of that car on the refrigerator. So every time she walked by it, she saw it. She manifested not only that car, but the money to pay for that car. And that's a story I love to tell, because she really, truly utilized all this. She was still doing prayer. She was still doing meditation. She was still doing affirmations, but that visual cue for her was what worked. But when I talk about visualization, some people just get feelings. I'm a feeler, so I don't get a picture. I get a feeling. The people who are audient might get a small, still voice within. Someone who just is prophetic will just get a knowingness about it. No matter how you get that information, you want to honor that. But knowing what you get, how you get your information, tells you how you want to use visualization. Visualization has been used for a long, long time for athletes and successful businessmen. This is no different. Visualize yourself with whatever you want. I don't know, $2 million in the bank, whatever it is you're targeting, $10,000 a month or more income. Visualize yourself in love and how the world feels to you when you're in love. Excuse me. Visualize yourself, like I said, not just necessarily a picture, but visualize yourself when you're well, what your life is like. Using these tools in this toolkit will get you to your manifestation. Don't trust anybody that says, hey, just do this 3-6-9 method, or just do this bay leaf method and everything will happen. Don't trust that. Go back and do your work. Make sure you are doing prayer. Make sure you're doing affirmations. Make sure you're doing meditation. Make sure you're doing visualization. Use rituals if you like, but understand the power is within you. The power is not within the ritual or the items that are in the ritual. Okay? Will you participate with me this week? Will you really delve into using all of the tools in your toolkit for the manifestation of your choice? Let's have a prayer. I now turn my awareness to the infinite power and the infinite presence of God. To that place within me that knows beyond human understanding just how powerful God is, how present God is, how beautiful God is. There's one love, one power, one presence, one life. And God is simply all there is, all there ever has been, all there ever will be, only God. And so that's where I find myself, in the midst of God, my very essence, my very life, my very being. It is who and what I am. And every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that ancient wisdom of the ages that flows through me like a river, because it is the wisdom of God. It is my truth. I know this to be so for the team that God has provided me, for Oz and for Faith and for Tina and Elaine and Karen and for Lynn. For we are one in that infinite power, that infinite presence of God. It is who and what we are. And that same wisdom of the ages that flows through me flows through each of those members as well. I know the same truth for everyone who is watching this, whether that be in real time or later on. For there is no place where one leaves off and the other begins. Only the unbroken unity of God. The life, the power, the presence that flows through us all connects us by it as it. And so I bless this coming week because I do know that wisdom of the ages that flows through us guides us and leads us to the material that we need to work with. Be that beliefs about deservingness or worthiness, be that beliefs about what money is, what love is, who we should be attracted to, dis-ease or illness, any of those things. That wisdom of the ages flows through us to guide us to that flow of information that we need to work on. And as we dedicate ourselves to using the tools in our toolkit this week, I know that we begin to see miracles happen, one right after the other. We are manifesting fools at this point, because we have changed our vibration to be in the frequency of God, and it shows. So I know that same truth to be so for every name that is in the ministry of prayer today. Whatever they are experiencing, God is the power underneath that. God has more power than that condition. God has more power than anything else. So I pull back the veil and reveal that truth here and now for them, accepting in their name good and very good. Mataki Asen, we are all one, all my brethren. So my heart fills with gratitude to know this is so, to be in service this way. And I just let it be. And so it is. And so we let it be. All right. This is our opportunity to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to express your gratitude for that which you have already seen in the physical realm, or that which you have created in the mind of God, but not necessarily seen yet in the physical world. In a minute, I'm going to ask you to go to www.oasiscsl.org, which is on the screen and in the comments. About 2/3 down that page is the offering affirmation that we use to bless the money that we are sending and receiving. And underneath that is the Contribute Now button. So I want to talk about Contribute Now real quick. We don't have a facility, so there's no facility rent. You're not contributing to that or utilities or salaries or anything like that. Strictly, you are contributing to the message of God getting out into the world. We are working on being a global center. We already have people joining us from the UK, from Germany, and from Holland, the Netherlands. And so we would really like to reach the rest of the world and inspire and uplift people one at a time. So I invite you right now to come with me, whether you're in real time or you're watching this later. Come with me to www.oasiscsl.org. And about 2/3 down the page is the offering affirmation. I invite you right now to say that with me, whether it's in real time or later on. You can say it with me now. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is. hit that contribute now button and help us reach the world and uplift and inspire everyone. All right. Please check out our ministry of prayer. We have these licensed practitioners from coast to coast we're very blessed with. They are the healing arm of the church. We also call them the God Squad. And excuse me, normally Oz would be available after the service for a 1-minute miracle. But he's at the Renaissance Festival, so I guess that's me. So if you would like prayer for something, please reach out to me through video chat, and I will be available for that. It is not a time for counseling. It is just a time that you can share with me what condition you are experiencing, and I will stop, drop, and pray with you right then and there. So if you would like prayer for something during the week, our team of licensed practitioners, our God Squad, will pray on those requests every day for a week. So in the comments section, put what you would like prayer for. And if you don't want it to be public, you can always DM Faith or myself, and we will put it. We have this private-facing group page for our God Squad, and that's where the prayer requests go. So either type it in the comments or DM one of us, and we will make sure that you get your prayer request gets listed. If you would like to be part of the God Squad and you're not a licensed practitioner, there are ways you can serve. One of the ways is to pray every day on those requests for a week. So if you are willing to do affirmative prayer, no beseeching, no asking, affirmative prayer every day for a week, and you're willing to keep those prayer requests confidential, just type yes in the comment section and Faith will add you to the God Squad page. If you would like to be part of our online community and get notified about things that we do in the church before everyone else does, type more in the comment section and she will add you to the public facing group page on Facebook. All right. Also know that our practitioners are available by appointment for a fee for spiritual guidance. You reach out to them, let them know that you would like to set an appointment up. They will let you know how to pay for it. I don't get involved in that. Some practitioners use Venmo, others use PayPal, some use Wise, some use Cash App. So you set that up, and at your appointed time, they will give you a call. All right. Brooks and Bailey. Let's see here. All right. So these mala beads that I've been showing you are amethysts. They're the most expensive ones. They're $60. I'm a purpleaholic, so of course everything is purple. But they do have mala beads that are $30 and on up, just to let you know. All proceeds go to Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue, a very worthy cause. And you can contact them at brooksandbailey0307@gmail.com or go to their Facebook page. Whenever they are at a craft show or something like that, I repost because I want people to go and experience their work. They do excellent work. All right, Faith.
Sorry, I couldn't find where to add me. Please check out the Mystic Brew. The website and the Etsy store no longer work, but you can still order from us through Instagram and Facebook at the Mystic Brew 303. Also follow us for any like upcoming events or deals. We have intention jars as well as bath salts that use herbs and different scents to help draw whatever you are working towards for your manifestation. And we also have kits for you to make your own and do your own rituals with.
Okay. This is the intention jar for prosperity that Faith made me. I use it a lot. I play with it when I'm focusing my attention on that prosperity. Then we have an adjunct to that. Angel Renee, who is one of our followers, has intention candles and a tea bag that you put in your bath that has herbs that are fragrant and keep you focused on your intention. So take advantage of these things. I mean, they're awesome. They're awesome tools. All right. And I always like to acknowledge the music of Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver. You can go to her website. She doesn't have a way for you to pay for it on the website, and she can't change her website. She travels around the country singing, and she has the CDs in her trunk. So go to the website, look at the CDs. If there's one that you want, contact her by email. She will arrange for you to pay her, and then she will send it out. She's really good about sending it out the same day. I'm well, unless you get her like midnight or whatever. Obviously, she can't send it out, but she tries. And she's pretty good about sending it out. Also, Karen Drucker, whose website does work, you can buy hers song by CD, by the songbook. You can get some of her songbooks, even have American Sign Language in them. And you can pay for it right then and there. If you like the music that you heard today and you want to hear more, she does a lot of chants, and those are great for you to focus your intention as well. So check out Karen Drucker's website. All right. Check out our website at www.oasiscsl.org. There you're going to find video sermons from the last 3 years and audio sermons for all the years prior. Well, not all the years, but a lot of the years prior. Since we started doing CDs, we actually were recording the services, and then we entered our facility in 1999. So I don't have sermons that far back, but I do have, I believe 2007, I think, is when we started actually recording. All right. So anyway, check us out. Also, we are on YouTube and SoundCloud under S. Tucker. YouTube has the videos and SoundCloud has the audio sermons. So check all of us out. And we're going to move to our last song. This is one of Karen Drucker's. I am so blessed. What a great meme to get stuck in your head. If you know the words, sing it loud, sing it proud. If you don't, just learn these words and just sing them all the time.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Right now, I just know that God's presence is felt and seen and heard in all of our activities this coming week, for we are blessed with manifestations galore. I give thanks for this. I know my heart just fills with gratitude to know that it is so, and I just let it be, and so it is. Amen. All righty, here we are. Thank you so much for being here. Wow. I just want to remind you, we are here every Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. We hope to see you next week and every week after that, Stay safe, wear a mask. Thank you for being here. We love you. Namaste.